Mors was the Roman personification of death, representing the inevitable end that comes to every living being. Unlike many other Roman gods who had magnificent temples, large cults, or elaborate myths, Mors remained a mysterious and quiet figure. The Romans viewed death as a natural part of life rather than an evil force, and Mors symbolized this unavoidable reality. Instead of causing death through anger or cruelty, Mors simply fulfilled the role assigned by fate, reminding both mortals and gods that no one could escape the final moment. The origins of Mors can be traced to Roman mythology, where the deity closely resembled the Greek figure Thanatos. Although the Romans borrowed many ideas from Greek culture, they developed their own understanding of Mors. Rather than focusing on dramatic stories, Roman writers often described Mors as an invisible presence who appeared silently when a person's life reached its destined conclusion. This calm and emotionless nature reflected Roman beliefs about destiny, duty, and the order of the universe. In Roman literature, Mors was often portrayed as a shadowy figure moving quietly across battlefields, cities, and homes alike. Rich and poor, kings and servants, heroes and ordinary people all met Mors without exception. This universal role emphasized equality before death, a concept that appeared frequently in Roman philosophy and poetry. Since no amount of wealth, power, or military success could prevent death, Mors served as a constant reminder of human mortality. Unlike Mars, Jupiter, or Venus, Mors was rarely worshipped through public festivals or grand ceremonies. The Romans generally avoided seeking the favor of death itself. Instead, they honored deceased family members through funeral customs and ancestor traditions while accepting that Mors would eventually claim every life. Funeral rites, cremations, burials, and memorial ceremonies reflected respect for the dead rather than devotion to the deity of death. Roman artists and later European creators often imagined Mors as a dark-winged figure dressed in black robes or carrying a torch turned downward, symbolizing a life that had ended. In some artistic traditions, Mors was shown holding a sword or appearing beside graves and battlefields. However, these images were largely symbolic rather than based on official Roman religious descriptions. Ancient Roman texts usually left the appearance of Mors deliberately vague, allowing imagination to fill the silence surrounding death. The relationship between Mors and fate was one of the most important aspects of Roman belief. The Romans believed that every person had an appointed lifespan determined by destiny. Mors did not decide when someone would die, but merely carried out the decision made by fate. This distinction made Mors less of a judge or executioner and more of a messenger who completed the final step of life's journey. Roman philosophers, especially the Stoics, considered death neither good nor evil, but simply a natural event. In this philosophical tradition, Mors represented acceptance rather than fear. Since death could not be avoided, wise individuals were encouraged to live honorably instead of worrying about the moment Mors would arrive. This perspective influenced Roman attitudes toward courage, military service, and public duty, where facing death with dignity became a sign of true character. Although Mors never achieved the popularity of other Roman deities, the figure has remained influential throughout history. Medieval artists, Renaissance writers, and modern creators often drew inspiration from the Roman image of death as a silent and impartial force. Today, Mors continues to symbolize the universal truth that every human life has an ending, making the figure one of the most enduring representations of mortality in Western cultural history.